Then I had to sit and really think about what is going on in my life. I felt the weight of the world for me to do great. Hey, 1428 family, it's Dondre Brown here to help you invest in your family, your finances, and your future. We had a crazy week last week. To be honest, as I'm learning, a lot of people really didn't know what was going on last week. A lot of people made speculations. A lot of people were just guessing and assuming that the market was moving a certain way. But for me personally, I wanted to take a deeper dive to really get to learn more about the market. I would be a fool if I didn't take the time to learn how the market is going to impact my next week, my tomorrow, and even today for that matter. So I think that's really important when we think about, especially beginning investors such as myself, what is going on around us that's impacting the market. And are we going to be a part of history? Are we going to create that history? Or are we going to be watching history? That's completely up to you. I've had some people in my comments saying like, hey, let's go invest in this. Let's hold, all those different things. It's your money. It's your ability to have your voice. So you get to do what you want to do with it. But one of the things that I do with this channel is try to bring that education here, right? For me personally, it's helping me make informed decisions because I still have a goal of increasing my money to $50,000 in profit. And I want to make sure I'm doing things right. I'm also trying to be aware of what's going on with Robinhood. I signed up for Webull, so I'm going to be jumping more into there. I just put through some money in there. I think like 2 or 3 days ago. So I already bought a few shares too. But again, my goal is to continue to increase my knowledge. So with that being said, I'm going to be bringing that education to this channel. And before I go any further, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button so that you don't miss another video. And then always leave comments. I love hearing your comments. I love being able to hear some of your experiences, some of your knowledge, some of your information that allows me to learn more. But again, we like that here on this channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into a video that I thought was very interesting as we think about this week, right? So all the plays, all the stocks that we thought about investing in, still keep those things in your mind, but also take this into account. Let's check it out.
On this topic and talk a bit more about market structure, what this means, what it doesn't, where we go from here. James Angel is Associate Professor of Finance at Georgetown University's McDonough School of Business. Jim, great to speak with you this morning. You have heard us talking, and I'd just love to start with your thoughts on the situation as we know it today and how you've been thinking about this saga just throughout the week. I'm sorry, Jim, you're still muted. You have to unmute.
Common mistake for individuals who are using Zoom, even to this day. We still forget to hit that unmute button, but we'll forgive them for that.
This is a fascinating battle between the bulls and the bears. And we've had these battles for centuries. They're always very colorful. The longs and the shorts have very different narratives, and it's always fun to watch. So, basically,
two things. He is really excited about this, which shows that as a professor, as a learner, he's watching history. But then Robinhood hit with lawsuit after GameStop restriction. I was hearing rumors about there being a class action suit. So that's something that I'll be interested in looking at to see if what it's about. But yeah, let's continue to watch.
Fire up the popcorn and enjoy the back. But it's also demonstrating some blemishes in our market structure. I could get into technical details, but when we see these price spikes that push a price far beyond a reasonable level, it's not doing anybody any good. An overpriced market.
I don't know if when he says it's not doing anybody any good, there are a lot of people that made a lot of money. There were a lot of people that became millionaires based off of what happened. And honestly, some of them didn't even know what was going on. So I think that's the most interesting part. But let's see what he talks about.
Market is nobody's friend because all it does is set up everyone for future losses. So we need to be asking ourselves, what can we do better to make sure that stock prices reflect economic fundamentals.
So I guess, Jim, what can we do better? And what do you make of the whole democratization idea, right? I mean, isn't it in theory a good thing if more people have access to the market, right? But at the same time, we have seen some of the dangers of that because there is this whole narrative of like the little guy working against this big system that is stacked against him.
Yeah, so what I've been able to learn is that right now there's this battle between Mainstreet being the retail investors and Wallstreet being the larger banks, the billionaires, etc. And there's this ruffle, but she makes a good point about democratizing and allowing access to the market. Individuals like myself, I'm able to learn how to invest, but be empowered to grow my money. So I think that's really important. But at the same time, she says that there's dangers where, I mean, there's dangers in investing all across the board. So it'll be interesting to continue to see this narrative. Let's check it out.
I love the democratization. And some people go, oh, these people don't know what they're doing. Oh, they're gambling. Well, most people aren't really skilled at day traders. Just like most people are not good at playing soccer. You know, only a few thousand people on the planet are good enough at playing soccer to play it professionally. And the same thing with day trading. But that doesn't mean you can't have a lot of fun doing that. And there's nothing wrong.
Are y'all having fun with this? Put in the comment section, let me know if you're in any of these stocks that have restrictions or if you've been winning lately. Let me know if you would classify this as fun. For me personally, it's fun to watch what's going on. But depending on which side of the coin I end up on in some of these investments, that I guess that'll determine if it was fun or not.
With having fun in the market. You know, the people who are viewing it as entertainment basically are bringing in capital, they're bringing in liquidity, and they're bringing in information. These are all things we need in our capital markets. So the fact that stock prices are volatile is really not a bug. It's actually a feature because it creates opportunity.
I love the way that he just said that, because when we hear volatility, I always say, hey, I'm not a financial advisor. Investing in stocks, especially penny stocks, are volatile. So you want to be careful. Like, we get that. But like he said, there's a lot of opportunity in volatility. Depending on your process, your education, your experience, you can capitalize off those things. So, but you should also still be allowed to have access to those things as well as create them, because it'll be interesting to see if Wall Street creates some of these things, which in my opinion, as I'm learning, they can become the creators and profit from some of these things. But let's continue to watch.
Jim, what have been your motivations behind buying and selling GameStop during this really frenzied period of activity?
Okay, I don't really trade stocks. I collect them. And I just...
Whoa! I like him. I really like him. I don't trade stocks. I collect them. So it sounds like he's holding on to stocks for a long time, and he's already excited about investing. So this professor's pretty dope. I would love to sit in his classroom and hear him teach on the market, because he's so energized. He doesn't sound down, probably because he capitalized off the market. I'm pretty sure if he would have lost a lot of money, I don't think he would have been this excited.
Happened to have a small quantity of GameStop in my portfolio, and when I noticed what happened to it.
So he had some GameStop stock. So of course he's excited. Look at his face. Look at his face. I wish I would have had at least one share. Because I probably would have came on and been just like him as well. But that's funny.
I got rid of it. And as a finance professor, I feel I have to practice what I preach. So I actually decided to short a very small quantity on Wednesday. We'll see if my broker lets me stay in that position. But I just do this just for educational purposes. I don't expect to
what have you learned? What have you learned from this?
I learned that I'm really not a good day trader. I'm not one of those people who actually has a good sense of where the market's going. But as I tell my students, when you find a mispricing in the market, it may get a lot worse before it gets better. So I shorted and watched the stock double. Very painful experience.
And, Jim, speaking of the educational side, I'm curious what conversations this week you've had with your students. I guess also over the last couple of years, conversations with your students about how they're thinking about the market. We talk on this program a lot about how much information there is today. It would seem to me that younger people are more educated than ever about the markets before they step into one of your classes. Is that what you're seeing? And how are today's college kids thinking about financial markets?
Before he goes, I would agree.
break
Oh,
their
I'm
hearts
trying
on
to
the
stop
first day
him.
of
Let me
class,
stop him real
because some
quick.
people,
But before he talks, I would agree that the access to technology is allowing us to be more informed about our finances and make more informed decisions. Whether we do that or not, I mean, that's debatable. But at the same time, the generations that are coming after us are being more empowered to change the market. Let's take a look at what happened to GameStop. It was a group of individuals that caused the price to go up, right? It wasn't that GameStop said, hey, we are about to merge with this company. That wasn't it, right? It was people banding together to increase the price of that stock. Strategy, unity, persistence. That's powerful. And again, it doesn't matter which side of the coin you're on, your Wall Street, Mainstreet, etc. It just means that power is shifting, right? Empowerment, awareness is shifting, which I personally think is dope.
People expect investing to be really exciting. And I say, hey, if you want excitement, you're going to pay for it. Studies show the most volatile stocks, on average, give you lower returns than the boring ones. When you're doing investing right, it's like watching paint dry. Or it's like farming. You plant a little money today, you tend it carefully, and if everything goes really well, later on you'll get a nice, bountiful harvest. If anything exciting happens, it's usually pretty bad news.
Yeah, I love that analogy, and I think it's a helpful one for a lot of people. So to go back to a point you were making earlier, there are some tweaks you said that need to be made to market structure to have better sort of price discovery, rational pricing. What are those tweaks? What would you do?
All right. One of the problems is we don't have enough people who can go short at a time like this. In that, the short sellers always get blamed when bad things happen, but they're a vital part of the ecosystem. They protect us from overpriced stocks. They protect us from pump and dump actions. And so what we need to do is to bring the equity market rules more in conformance with the treasury market rules. This has to do with settlement on the second day after the trade that you were talking about earlier. We need to basically update Rule 204. We also need to modernize Rule 15C3-3, the customer protection.
Hold up. So now he's teaching. Now we're in class. I have no idea what he's saying, but I never thought that I would be this engaged in finances and the market. Of course, going to school, you probably were in some of the classes, but this is more relevant now than ever, especially if you're trying to increase your finances. Now you have a group of people, investors who probably isn't paying this much attention because they kind of know their strategy, their plan, etc. But no, that's not me. I want to learn what's going on so that I can be more educated and more empowered to make decisions and more aware. What happened in the last week and a half didn't only impact the stock market. It impacted crypto. It impacted Forex. It impacted the global economy. So that in itself for me is enough to really learn this, but let's go back to school.
Rule. And what we need to do is to bring the stock lending rules for fully paid accounts in conformance with accounts that have debit balances. Real technical stuff, but things that can actually make it possible for more people to lend their shares if they want to. So again, this is technical stuff in the weeds, but we've seen these kind of price spikes before. About a year ago, there was a company called Funware, ticker PHUN. It was a bungled SPAC deal, but because of these imperfections in the back office, the stock spiked to well over $100 a share. Now it's $1.73. So whenever you have these stock prices that go far beyond economic reality, you are baking in losses for future investors, even people who aren't even playing. So if you think about the index fund investor with their retirement plan, hey, if that stock's in the index, guess what? That retirement investor is overpaying for that stock, even though they don't know it.
So he dropped a couple nuggets in the end. I hope whoever was on the other side of that stock that went up to $100 some and is now back to $1, they put a trailing stop loss. They sold something, because that would have broke my heart. But at the same time, again, he's making the case and proving the point that this is impacting so many different people. I've entered groups on Reddit because, again, Wallstreet Bets is the group on Reddit where they coordinated a lot of these efforts. So I went in to learn more about what they're saying, and it's pretty interesting to see the conversations that are going on in there. But again, at the same time, this is history. This is education. This is learning about the stock market. People may not care. People may care. I bring this to the channel. If you care, leave some comments. If you don't care, leave some comments. The goal, again, is to just be informed, learn, but then also know how you want to move after. So again, hopefully you like this video. If you do, give me a thumbs up and let me know if you like these kind of videos that come in that are informational, kind of reactionary. And we'll see if I can drop some more. But again, if you like this video, best believe you're going to see me in the next. Peace.